Hello, my beautiful creatives, and welcome back to my art channel. My name is Chrissie B, and I'm a creativity coach hoping to inspire you to live a more creative life every day. Because today is Friday, I decided to do a Chatty art studio playtime where you can watch over my shoulder as I talk to you about what's going on in my week. If you have any questions about what you see on my screen, about what I'm doing art-wise, please feel free to ask any questions down in the comments down below. I'll be happy to help wherever I can. For the most part, this is exactly how I art in my art studio when I'm playing by myself, is I have a lot of projects going on at the same time, and I essentially just do different levels. Sometimes I'm prepping a page, sometimes I am just doing one layer, sometimes I'm finishing the whole thing, but this is really how I play in my art studio. So this has been a pretty good week. It has been my nephew's birthday this week, which he just turned 12, which is pretty cool. We are living on my sister-in-law's property, and so there is my 12-year-old nephew and my 15-year-old niece both live here, which is probably one of the best perks about living here. They're just so much fun to watch them grow up because they're growing up so fast. So tomorrow we have a really big shindig to go to for my nephew's birthday party. We're all going to like a fun center where there's go-karts and miniature golf and bowling and video games and all sorts of fun stuff like that. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of little boys hanging out, being silly, being goofy, which Uncle JJ is pretty jazzed about because he kind of fits right into the whole bunch. But yeah, we're pretty excited about that. Tonight I am going into Salem. I have an art group that meets the first and third Friday of the month, and we get together from about 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. the first and third Friday of the month to just basically bring all of our art projects together and just play and visit and be silly and have fun. It's a lot of fun, so I'm excited about that. That'll be this evening. In the meantime, my hubby and I are going to our condo that we own in Salem. We are in the process of remodeling it with the idea that we want to sell the blasted thing. We have owned this condo for, it's almost 12 years. It's hard to believe because it feels like such a shorter time, but it really has been almost 12 years. So we are really hoping to get it on the market this year, so that way we can have like some real freedom. Anyways, so that's what we're doing today. We're finishing remodeling the kitchen there. It is almost done. It looks like a kitchen again, which is pretty awesome. I think all I've done in my video so far is I played in my first altered book. I created my template for this 3-tag spread, and I liked it so much that I decided I would try the template out in my second altered book. And because this spread was already dry and ready to go, meaning all of the double pages were already glued together, I decided I was going to do a little bit of decorating on the 3 pages just to see if I could figure out how to go about decorating a page that has essentially 3 tags cut out on it. It did pose a little bit of a problem, but it was actually kind of fun. That's kind of why I like doing this, is just to try to create new challenges for myself to see how I could figure out how to come up with ways to fix these said challenges. At this point, the only real plan I have is I just want to use warm colors on the spread. So I'm just pulling out various shades of pinks, and I think I'll pull out some reds, and I'll probably even pull out some oranges, and just kind of keep making a hot mess until I either figure out what I'm going to do with it next or until I move on to another one of my art journals. This is one of the perks for me having so many art journals, is because I do have a tendency to get stuck, and even though I get stuck doesn't mean I can't keep creating. I just create in something else until I'm unstuck in whatever it is I was really originally stuck on. Okay, so what else is going on in my world? Well, I have been doing a lot of ukulele practicing. I'm a Hawaiian girl who doesn't know how to play ukulele, so I've been trying really hard to learn chords and learn actual songs this week, which has been a lot of fun. Yeah, I basically took my playlist from iTunes and I just try to find a few songs that I enjoy singing a lot to, and trying to figure out how to play the chords for the different songs. Some are easier than others, but yeah, I'm having a blast doing that. So it's fun trying to figure out other ways to be creative besides just playing in my art journals. Although playing in my art journals seriously still is one of my #1 favorite things to do every single day. Okay, so what am I currently reading this week? Actually, I'm reading a book called Wanderlust, A Modern Yogi's Guide to Discovering Your Best Self. It's written by Jeff Krasno, Nicole Lindstrom, and Sarah Harrington. and I absolutely love it. It's one of those books that I need to go back and take notes into my soul book because there's so many like juicy bits of goodness that I'm like, I need to incorporate these things into my life for the rest of my life. It's just so much fun. One of the things that I really want to do is a 30-day challenge where I do 30 days of meditation or 30 days of yoga or 30 days of prayer or 30 days of something, and I really want to track that in my soul book. I thought I'd maybe start at the beginning of a month and just go for it, but I have a tendency to say, oh, well, I'll start this new thing on Monday, or I'll start this new thing on the first of the month, or I'll start this new thing when the mood really strikes me, and the mood never really strikes me, and I just never do it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a layout in my soul book for it, and I'm just going to start doing it right away because why not? And I haven't decided if it's going to be 30 days of yoga, 30 days of meditation, or 30 days of prayer, like conscious prayer. But I want to do one of those things, something to just kind of help myself be a little bit more mindful. I'm doing a lot more faces in my soul books. I know I'm completely done on the video here, but yeah, I'm just trying to get some more faces done. And I find that they're rather easy to draw them out, but I'm struggling like actually painting them. So I'm hoping that I will be able to get some cojones to just kind of go for it here soon. I'm not sure I'll go for it on camera quite as easily as I do drawing them, but you know. And I'm not sure if you can hear in my voice, I'm kind of feeling like I'm catching a little bit of a cold. My niece, she had a cold really bad this week, and I thought, well, just, don't hang out with her too much. Don't be hugging on her. Don't be hanging out too much. But it's my making girl. I miss her. I love her. And I may have caught her little cold, if you can hear it in my voice. I'm starting to feel a little bit congested. I'm having a little bit of trouble breathing through my nose. Or as my hubby likes to say, I have a steppy node. Yeah, I feel it's coming. I'm hoping I kind of shake it off quickly because I have a lot of stuff going on this weekend and I really want to be able to play and have fun. Not to mention work and do all the important stuff that has to get done as well, but what you gonna do? Just kind of muscle through it. Show it who's boss. So this spread that I'm doing is one of my magazine journals that I had created, and I didn't really have a plan here, but I thought I would get my watercolors out and start playing. This is my Golden's Core watercolor. It was the sample set that I had bought last week or the week before. It was on super duper duper sale for like 12 bucks for the whole kit, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm on it. So I'm trying to use those this weekend, just play with them and see what I like and what I don't like about them. They're not my favorite, but they're alright. And this spread has dried. My 3-tag spread is dried, so I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll put some stamping on it, see if I can make that work. It looks okay. I can't remember what else I do on this particular spread. I think I actually add more paint to it, which kind of freaked me out at first, but then I realized it's just another layer. Oh yeah, these are my purple, I don't know, when I see this little pattern that I make with my brush, it's one of my favorite patterns to make because it's super easy. I basically just let the brush mush down, and the brush makes this pattern all by itself, this mark. But every time I see it, it reminds me of the Flintstones. It's like what Fred Flintstone wears on his clothing, the little speckled animal print dress thing that he wears. That's what this speckled spot thing reminds me of. And it's purple, so it makes me super happy. Purple has not really been my color, but it's kind of become my color this year. So we'll just put some more Flintstone dots around and just kind of go with it. So let's see what else. My hubby has taken a load of stuff to the dump. That's how glamorous our lives are. Him being a residential contractor, he does that often, taking stuff to the dump. I have my Gracie girl sleeping next to my leg, and I have Bitsy's over by the heater vent, napping over there. I try to do all of my video work first thing in the morning just because it's quiet around here. Let's see. So this page I am using a distress stain to start. I'm trying to use my distress stains up. They're not something I can really find too easily around here any longer. And I have heard some reviews where some people are saying that their distress stains are kind of changing color, or they're mildewing, or they're starting to smell a little bit funny. I haven't really had any of that experience with mine up to this point, but I want to really use them so that it doesn't happen to me. So I did some funky painting over the top of that, and I'm setting that to dry. Now this last weekend, not like I need another art journal. I need another art journal like I need another hole in my head. But I picked up that Better Homes and Garden cookbook. It was my mom's favorite cookbook when I was growing up, and I have a copy myself that I cherish because I love them so much. A lot of the recipes remind me of my mom. But I picked up one this weekend, and I actually had gotten it for free. And so I'm turning that into another art journal because, like I said, like Mama needs another art journal, but you can never have enough places to create. I just like it. So I've gessoed a bunch of those pages, and I set them out and let them dry. My kitchen turned into like, you know, where gesso comes to dry, and there are pages everywhere. And so I decided to pull out my texture paste and basically do some texturing over a lot of those pages. And so that's what I did there, and I set those aside to dry. Now that this watercolor spread has dried, I'm coming back in with some Dina Wakley mixed media heavy body acrylic paints, and I'm just doing some painting over the top. And I'm really just kind of keeping the same kind of colors I was using with the watercolors, which are oranges and reds. And I think I even come in with like a burnt umber and even maybe a gold and a copper. To just kind of give this, I don't know, to just try something new and to use some of the paints and some of the supplies that I've never used before in my stash. Remember, 2018 is the year that I'm using my stash. And I also discovered, I found out from Dina Wakley, listening to one of Dina Wakley's videos, the heavy body acrylic paints of hers are going out, not going out of business, but they're being discontinued. Which makes me super sad because they're literally my favorite paints. I have Goldens, I have Liquitex, I have all sorts of like high-end expensive paint, and these are really my favorite. I think it's because the paint in the tube seem to have been whipped a little bit more with air, so when you actually go to use them, they spread out a lot further, they float a lot better. I don't know, I just really love them. And even though they have the new, Dina Wakley does have a new bottled version of the paints, I think the paint colors are probably exactly the same, but the formula is not quite the same because they're not whipped with air. When you put it out onto your, whatever you're doing, they're just flat, they're just not quite the same, so I'm not as happy with it. But as with all things that have to end, I'm just going to have to let it go and find something else. So I'm coming back to the spread because, I don't know, because I don't really know what to do with it. And then every once in a while I think, oh, I did a whole bunch of doodling, and not even doodling, but like journaling on top of it with a white pen. And I just kind of did it big and kind of messy and kind of loopy, but I felt like the spread needed some white. So I did that with my white gel pen. Then I came back in with some white acrylic paint. Now I'm coming back in with some pink, because I'm just going to push all the layers I've created up to this point, I'm going to push them back to kind of give myself the ability to create more layers. And just, I want to see what I can do with these spreads. And again, I don't really have a plan. I'm just playing. This is all about playing and experimenting and trying to figure out what I like and what I don't like and what works and what's not working. And just kind of seeing where it takes me. I'm using cheddar. I don't use cheddar terribly often. Cheddar reminds me of the boxed Kraft macaroni and cheese that I used to eat a lot when I was little. Sometimes I'll try to eat some of it now, like as nostalgic, you know, as a nostalgia kind of thing. And it kind of makes me nauseous. I can't eat it any longer. It makes me kind of sick. So, kind of bummy. So here I'm just using a charcoal pencil. I'm kind of scraping through the thick paint that I've got on there and kind of making the illusion of circle-y kind of marks. So it's sort of making charcoal marks and sort of just scraping through the paint. So kind of going with it. I'm loving my texture paste, so I'm using that a lot. I think I'm going to use that a few times more before my session is over today. Yeah, not only playing with my texture paste, but also playing with all the different stencils that I've got. I've got a lot of stencils, and I don't use terribly a lot of them just because they're so gorgeous. Don't want to ruin them. And here's probably my last thing for the day. Just doing some more texture paste because I can. This is another one of those magazines that I had altered myself. It's an Oprah magazine. And I really like using Oprah magazines because they have some long folding out pages, which is what this is. This is the cover, which had like a special, I don't know what it was, a special edition of some sort. And I was able to open it up really, really, really large. So I thought, oh, this would be perfect spread to just kind of keep going, keep going, keep going. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but I thought it was just a fun way to kind of do a next layer on it, just to kind of give myself another challenge when I finally do come back to try to figure out what to do next. Clean up some of my stuff, and that is pretty much it for today. I hope you liked this video. I love playing in the art studio with you, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. Till next time, bye for now.